Okay, fine. Right. Understanding the database management system was your first learning outcome. Yeah.
Yep.
So at some point, we listed, the topics like overview, database management system types, models, data schema that we discussed previously. Yeah.
Yep.
Uh, I'm little bit, not happy with the content provided with the course provider like ATHE. Yeah.
Yep.
But you can still follow a connected set of topics from a book. Yeah, like database systems by CJ Dates and database systems, the introduction to databases, introduction to databases for dummies, like understanding database in 21 days. Any, so I would recommend you to go through the any book from the so that you should understand the flow of understanding the database. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. So the today's topic is database design. Yeah. So the
Yep.
database design is based on like relationships, joins, keys, and referential integrity, domain integrity, entity integrity, functional dependencies, schema, normalization, forms, and roles of database administrator, DBA skills, blah blah blah. Yeah. But
Yep.
still, I can't see the systematic connectivity of these, topics. Yeah, because I know that we have been teaching this since long, but there should be connectivity. But no worries. Initially, we will follow these, topics, and then I would definitely recommend you to go through, the recommended books. There are some, I will be able to upload there, as well as, I can send you an email of those books. Yeah.
Okay, that would be good.
So, yeah. So in this first topic, database relationship. So database relationship is basically the relationship between the tables. If you look at superficially, that why you need a database, obviously you need a database based on some entities. They will have some relationship, like one student can have one or let's say number of courses to be enrolled. Yeah. And
Yep.
another student can have the similar or different number of courses or units enrolled. Apart from this, one teacher can teach more than one classes. So this is about the relationship, that let's say the one to many. For example, teacher can teach many courses.
Yep.
So at some point you will have to finalize or design, idealize, or point out that in your database how many relationships and what type of relationships will occur there. Yeah. So
Okay.
let us go ahead, superficially according to the definitions, and then at some point when we will be doing some example, then it will be further, easier to illustrate. Now, here is a concept of the primary key, and another is the foreign key. Yeah. Now,
Yep.
these are basically two topics used into the relational database. Yeah. Let us
Yep.
little bit revise that what is the relational database. Relational database is the type of database in which the data is stored into the form of tables. One table will have a relation with the another table using certain technique, yeah, which will allow you to connect the two tables at the time of insert, update, delete the records. For example, if there is a one table, let's say student biodata. Student biodata table can have, let's say, 10 fields, 10 related information, let's say name, address, contact number, fees information, the other, previous education history. But when the student is going to be enrolled into a course, would it be fine to include the same information into the course?
No, I think if you include the same information, then the information will become redundant.
Yeah, redundant. Information will become redundant. So what the database designer need to do, the create a one table of a student, and a student should be given a unique field that is called the ID. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, that is called the primary key. A primary key is a field in a table which uniquely identifies each row or record in a database table. Primary key must contain unique values. Like customer ID will be unique 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah. And let me come to the another example that I was discussing, that one student can have number of courses to be enrolled. So in the courses table, if you are using the just student ID to mention that, okay, these students are enrolled into that this course, then you will need to create a foreign key in another table. Let's say here, for example, this one is the customer table and this one is the order table.
Yeah.
This could be, let's say, the student table and let's say course table. So the customer ID and customer ID, both the field names are same, but they are connected, interlinked with the concept of primary key and secondary key.
Okay.
Right? Okay. So how they will be accessed? They should be accessed using some query language, like a structured query language, so that you could say that, let's say, for example, if you want to show the records of let's say order, for example, we are here orders, yeah, where the customer ID should be, let's say, 5, yeah, show the record of customer 5, and you should also be you should also be able to show, let's say, the address of the customer. Yeah. So using this primary key and the foreign key, you should be able to generate the order details, and by taking the address from the customer, the customer table. So does it make sense?
Yeah. So for instance, now here if I wanted to make the customer's name and address appear, then as a foreign key, I would just put in the order. I would add the cast last and the cast first and the cast street, and then they would come up.
Yeah. So one thing, that using the foreign key and primary key, obviously the data is not redundant, as well as directly using the primary key and secondary key, you can retrieve the data from both of the tables. Yeah.
So I can edit the data in both of the tables as well.
Yeah, you can edit the data into both of the tables, and you can retrieve the data from both of the tables. But for example, the output if, for example, if it says that order, the details of the order and the address of the customer is there, then the address of the customer is coming from the customer table, and the order details is coming from the order table. But in the physically, they are stored separately. So that is the beautification of the database, where this feature helps you to segregate these things. So as a basic introductory concept, that foreign key, primary key, we are just covering these things according to the syllabus. And next step is to put the hands-on practice. For example, if let me take you to very quick access for the SQL. SQL W3C practice. Now, have you heard about the W3 school?
Yes, I've done my HTML and CSS studies with them.
Yeah, from there, yeah. They also provide the live database for access and interface for SQL. Yeah. So their form is here. We assume that we are using the database, and here we are saying that select asterisk from customer. So if we execute here, then the data is viewed from the customer ID, customer name, contact, address, and these things. Yeah. And if we wanted to use the other tables like order details, order products, shippers, then we could make this combination view using the primary key and foreign key. But we will do this bit later on. Yeah. So
okay,
what you need to do, you in the same website, there will be plenty of exercises for, let's say, creating the table. For example, creating the primary key, creating the secondary key. So all of the examples can be practiced here. Like,
all right,
if you are creating the primary key, yeah, so how you will be doing? Customer ID, it should be integer and not null. For name, let's say Vacha, surname, and the primary key in the bracket, you are mentioning here that customer ID should be the primary key.
Okay.
Yeah. And obviously there are when you create a joint query, so that you should be able to view the joint data. So these are further queries that we will be doing in the next session. Yeah, maybe here, but let me finish the other topics. Yeah.
Okay.
So far the concept should be clear, that why the primary key and the secondary key should be used. Now here is another topic: integrity constraints. Integrity constraints are basically the word says that reliability of the constraints. So the first topic, the referential integrity, is a relational database concept which states that a table relationship must have always be consistent. In other words, any foreign key field must agree with the primary key that is referenced by the foreign key. So when you are talking about the referential integrity, it means you are proper using the foreign key and primary key relationship. From the simple definitions, from many definitions on the internet about that particular referential key, basically it is little bit confusing, but let me make it clear to you. You can try different definitions for this. Referential integrity means using the primary key and foreign key so that there shouldn't be any problem. At the moment, you just remain on this definition. Yeah.
Yeah.
In other words, if you are utilizing the foreign key and primary key, then you are dealing with the referential integrity. Let me go to the other integrity constraint. Here the same example. For example, let me make it bigger. Like artist ID is in one table, and there is another table in the where the artist ID is there.
Yeah.
If it is a sorry.
No, nothing. You said okay.
Yeah. So if it is, for example, if you have created the connection between two tables, yeah, and the records 1, 2, 3 are there, and if you could have a look that 3, 4, and 3 is here. Have a look that 4 is not available in the other table. If due to any reason, due to deletion, insertion of the data, if both they are not matching into the similar existence in two tables, it means you are not following the referential integrity. So regarding the referential concept, this example is violating the referential integrity. Yeah. So at the moment, you just remain in mind that referential integrity means you have to make the every column to be every primary key column connected with the secondary the foreign key constant. Yeah. So let us go through superficially the concepts. Yeah. And there are lots of examples can be discussed here, but so far we have to cover the length of the lecture first, and then we can quickly go to these things. Yeah.
Okay.
So here are more bit more examples for the referential integrity. Let me go to the other one. Domain integrity. Yeah. Domain integrity ensures the data values inside a database follows the defined rules for values, range, and format. When you are saying that you can only insert the numbers in a column for the type of, let's say, student ID. Within the student ID, you cannot put the name. Yeah. Then it means domain integrity is applied, like values, range, and format. If you are not able to maintain this integrity, it means you are not following the domain integrity. Yeah. These are basically the terms used for the database. Okay. This database gives the options of the referential integrity. This database gives the option of the domain integrity. And for example, name cannot exceed the 50 characters. The gender cannot exceed more than 1 character. So basically you are defining the domain integrity. Yeah. Then there is another entity integrity. Entity integrity refers to having uniqueness among the entity. One of the data entity integrity example is having primary key in each table. Yeah. So for example, if you created a database, yeah, sometime you are calling a customer with customer ID, yeah, and sometime you are trying to access the data with the postcode and the address of the customer. Yeah. You must have seen either works in different business domains, isn't it?
That's usually the case. Yeah, if you haven't got your customer number, they will ask for other details.
Yeah, and sometimes they ask the postcode, give me the postcode and the first line of address, then they quickly access the data. Yeah.
Yeah.
So this says that entity integrity should be based on the primary key and it should be unique in some context. Yeah.
Yeah.
If the entity is identifiable with uniqueness, yeah, then this is basically, complying with this concept. Okay.
Okay.
Foreign key integrity. Foreign key integrity is also called the referential integrity. Yeah. As I told you, that referential integrity is making sure in the previous slide that foreign key data shouldn't be, mismatching with the primary key, columns. So foreign key constraint or foreign key referential integrity are there. They are somehow interchangeable, but we are not going to in that much depth that why somebody there are different definitions, but just for the time being, the referential integrity is called the foreign key integrity. Yeah.
Okay.
Normalization. Normalization, basically, in a relational database design, we not only want to create the structure that stores all of the data, but we also want to do it in a way that minimizes potential errors. Yeah. So if you want to design the database, yeah, and if you wanted to start with creating or advising different tables, yeah, then there can definitely be the possibility that you will be replicating the data. The data can be redundant and non-redundant. The data can have different, forms which will not help you to access, the easily, will not be efficient. There will be many errors. Is it possible? I mean, in the first instance, for example, if I ask you to create the database and come up with a few tables, yeah, 4, 5, 10 tables, yeah, then after those 5 or 10 tables, even if you create the foreign key, primary key, you create the linkage between the tables, then will you be 100% sure that the structure, the connection, the relationship is 100% fine?
No, I think you would need to test it in some way.
Yeah, test it in some way. So test it in some way. The structural feasibility is done through the normalization. Yeah, database normalization. In the database normalization, there are certain forms. At the basic level, mostly the 3 normal forms are being taught. There are further normal forms, but they may be they are related with a very vast and the very big database systems. Yeah, and which might be at the enterprise level, and they might go beyond the scope. Yeah, but there exists the many more normalization forms. Yeah, so here is some definitions about the normalization, and let me quickly go to the normalization itself. Yeah, to address the 3 problems, let us go a little bit for the normalization problems. Let me start from here. The default language for accessing data from a relational database is SQL. In particular, SQL can be used to manipulate the data in the following ways: insert new data, delete unwanted data, existing data. Yeah. So, for example, you created the database. Yeah.
Yep.
and you wanted to insert, update, and delete. Similarly, in an unnormalized design, there can be three problems that I told you before. Yeah. When we work with the data, there can be insert anomaly. This refers to the situation when it is impossible to insert certain types of data into a database. Yeah. I mean, for example, suddenly the data came to you, then you have a difficulty for inserting the data. For example, if you have order detail, somewhere you have other detail, information somewhere. For example, a complaint came in. Yeah.
Yep.
You don't have a table for inserting the complaint. Yeah. Delete anomaly. The deletion of the data leads to unintended loss of additional data that we had wished to preserve. For example, you had created the order details and you had stored into the necessary information into the order table, and you thought that this order is no more necessary, then this anomaly can happen. Update anomaly, this refers to the situation where updating of the values of a column lead to a database inconsistencies. For example, you wanted to update the address of the customer. Yeah. Then you have a difficulty in updating all the records of the customer. For example, a customer wanted to customer purchased more than two orders, yeah, or more than one order, then this can happen. So these are just the definitions or concepts that can happen, but how they can happen, they come into this further to be explained. So the problems, as you said, that there will be some technique, some testing method to check the database whether it is fine, the database structure, to know whether it is fine or not. You have to go through some normalization, the database normalization. These are the levels of the database normalization. Let's say in the first normal form. In the first normal form, what you need to do is, for example, here is a table of product. ID is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The color of the field can be red or green, yellow, green, yellow, blue, red. The first normal form says you don't use more than one values into one column.
Okay.
Table. What you need to do, you need to split the table so that the let's say the product ID could be given only one value. Yeah. Let's say, for example, if the product ID 1 is given in the product table, for example, on the left here, red and green, what's being done on the product color here, that product ID 1 can be red, product ID 1 can be green. Can you look at the product color?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that is the concept behind the first normal form. Yeah. Maybe there can be many concepts that you can go through, but let us quickly go through here. Yeah. In the second normal form, let's say there can be a possibility that two primary key values are existing. Let's say customer ID is unique and store ID is also unique. Yeah.
Yeah.
And at some point, if you wanted to store both of the values in one table, yeah, then this will make a problem, because you won't be able to make this unique. Let's say customer ID cannot be repeated in somewhere, because this is, the primary key. What you need to do is split the table further. Let's say store table should be created separately, and the purchase table should be created separately. Have a look.
Yes.
Yeah. The second normal form says that it should be, let me read it for you. This table has a complete primary key, composite primary key, because both are the unique values. The non-key attribute is purchase location. Now purchase location is basically mixing up. In this case, the purchase location is only dependent on the store ID, which is only part of the primary key. Therefore, this table doesn't satisfy the second normal form. So basically, if you are joining this purchase location within the same the table for the store ID, but this is mixing up with the customer ID. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So what it is advising, that split have a store table separate. The store ID should be store ID and store location should be separate. And over here, you, instead of using the store information in front of every customer ID, like in the first table, you just mention the store ID. Now look at the purchase table below, the small one. Can you see my cursor?
Yeah.
Yeah. Now look at, you are just referring the store ID here. You are not duplicating the information here.
So would that be correct to say that at the bottom in the two tables, in the table purchase, the customer ID is your primary key, the store ID is just a foreign key?
Store ID is not the foreign key. It is also the composite key, basically. Yeah. But
okay,
it is composite key, but it doesn't have the second, I mean, it qualifies for the second normal form. Yeah. It is not making the confusion with the store location.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. So maybe there can be different examples, but just keep in the mind that when there are two unique things when you wanted to store, but unfortunately the possibility of the store location is only dependent on one ID, like store ID, then there is no point to save this information in one table. Try to separate from try to split into two tables. Let me tell you in another definition. For example, if you have two tables, yeah, and in both of the tables there is a possibility of two unique values. Yeah. What are the two unique values? One is the customer ID, and store ID is also unique value. Yeah. So you never use the two unique values as a primary key within one table. Better you should create the two tables, and each table may have a primary key separately. While here, this is fine, basically. You can do this, but this is called the composite key. When you depend on the two keys within one table using two primary keys, it is called the composite key, but you should avoid it. Yeah.
Okay.
Let me go to the next one, and then we will have more. You can try a bit more on this. Third normal form. In the third normal form, book ID determines gender, and gender ID determines the gender. Genre is the type of books. Yeah.
Yeah.
So the two similarly the two concepts are used here from the second normal form. The make sure one thing, that if you are in the first normal form, then you need to correct the tables the first normal form, and make sure when you are going to implement the second normal form, then the second normal form should make sure that the first normal form has been applied. Yeah. And
Okay.
with the third normal form, you should make sure that the second normal form has been applied. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is the first, these are the mandatory rules for going further, because as I told you, that there are more normal forms, advanced normal forms. The more and more you are approaching towards the depth of the database structure, then you need to deal with. Yeah. But at this level, maximum 3-4 normal forms are sufficient. So we discussed about first normal form, that one column shouldn't take two values. You split it into one column.
Yeah.
We split it into two tables. And in the second normal form, you remove the dependency of two primary key type items by splitting into entirely two tables. Yeah. And in the
Yeah.
third normal form, it says a database is in third normal form if it satisfies the following conditions. It is in second normal form, and there is no transitive functional dependency. By transitive functional dependency, we mean we have the following relationship in a table: a functional dependency on B, and B is functionally dependent on C. In this, C is transitively dependent on A. Now, let me read it for you further. In the table, book ID determines genre ID, and the genre ID determines the genre type.
Yep.
Yeah. Therefore, book ID determines the genre type via genre ID.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we have a transitive functional dependency. Like book ID comes from genre ID 1, and genre type is for example, gardening.
Yeah.
And this structure does not satisfy the normal form. Yeah? Like previously, we splitted the stores into stores and store locations by splitting the table. The similar is here, that we are splitting the dependency of one entity from the other, and we are splitting here. That genre ID should be separated here. Now the question arises, that what is the difference between the second normal form and the third normal form?
Well, I think just the thing that in the third normal form, you don't have the transitive functional dependencies.
In the
I
third
think that,
no, 1 second. If you look at the previous example, the customer ID in the second normal form, the customer ID and store ID have been kept in one table, in the purchase table, and
yeah.
the store table was stored separately. over here the book ID and the price is kept here. Yeah, the
Okay.
depending values are being kept separately. Why? The reason that genre ID is unique. Genre ID is unique. 1, 2, 3. It is repeating basically. For example, if you have a look on the column first, the first row, the gardening is repeating.
Yeah.
Let us compare here, but it is also repeating. Let me in this example, it says the book ID is dependent on the genre ID. Yeah, and the genre ID is one second. In the table, book ID determines the genre ID and the genre ID determines the genre type. Therefore, the book ID determines genre type via genre ID, and we have the transitive functional dependency, and this structure does not satisfy the third normal form. To bring this table to third normal form, we split table into two as follows. Now, all non-key attributes are fully functional dependent only on the primary key. Now, the price.
Yeah.
Yeah, price is secondary key. It is dependent on only the primary key.
On the book ID.
On the book ID. On the book ID, and the genre ID is not been used. Maybe what we do, let me finish the few more slides and then we take the another example. Yeah,
Okay.
because this example is little bit confusing. To get it more clear, let me finish with the few more topics and then we come to the normal form, third normal form. Yeah, again. Yeah.
All right.
Okay. Database administrators. Yeah. Database
Yeah.
administrators are, you must have heard about the administrators. So they use the specialized software to store and organize data. The role may include capacity planning, installation, configuration, database design, migration, performance, monitoring, security, troubleshooting, as well as backup. They like the some listed features like they should have skills and responsibilities. Skills can be communication skill, knowledge of database theory, knowledge of database design, knowledge about relational database, Microsoft SQL Server, blah blah blah, many things. Yeah, and
Yeah.
their responsibility should be including updating database server and enrolling users and many things. Just the formal, the operations. Yeah, just they have asked to go through. So in today's lecture, we discussed about the relationships, the keys, the referential integrity, domain integrity, the normalization, and the skills. Now let us go to the third normal form example. Yeah.
Okay. I can't hear anything now.
Yeah. I'm trying to find a good example. Yeah.
Okay, I just wasn't sure whether the sound was still on.
Sorry. Yeah. Okay. I'm trying to find the good example for you. Maybe what we do, because I think that someone will be trying to connect, another teacher, at 12 o'clock. I will find the, good example, yeah, and record the, small session, and once I will upload to the Moodle, and then I will send you an email.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, that's perfect.
Yeah. In the meantime, you can revise. What you need to revise. You need to go through the W3 school. Yeah. And try to execute all the SQL commands like select string from customer ID. You should play with these or commands, basic commands, and using clauses where the, let's say, salary is less than 5,000, salary is less than 20,000 a year, and play with those things. Come up with applying the primary key and foreign key by creating a table, and try to retrieve the data from using the join, the foreign key and the primary key. For example, that if you wanted to look at the order details, then you should be able to view the, let's say, order total from one table, and the customer address from the customer ID, customer table. Yeah. And
Okay.
try to revise the first normal form, yeah, with few examples, and second normal form with few examples that, and there are in the slide. And for the good example with pictorial, because I'm sorry, within few minutes I'm unable to find the another alternative picture for you. But my task is that find another good pictorial example, and for you, and I will upload the slide on the Moodle, yeah, and will update you.
Okay.
Yeah. And how about the timing? I believe that we should be able to start the at least 2 units in a week. I mean, uh, instead of 1 unit to be run in a week, we should continue 2 units in a week. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. We can do that.
Yeah.
I've
Yeah.
still got Tuesdays, so I can do any time on Tuesday that suits you.
Yeah, that will be fine. So I will update you with the new schedule for another unit, and once I will upload the PPT slide for the third normal form, then I will also update you. Yeah.
Okay, that's
Okay.
great.
So see you possibly maybe on Tuesday, but definitely on Thursday for the database third session. Yeah.
Okay, shall we say the same time? I mean, at least on Thursday, 11 o'clock.
Yeah. We keep the same timing at the moment. Yeah.
Yeah, okay, that's great.
Yeah. Okay, then see you on Thursday, and before I will let you know. Yeah.
Okay, thank you
All
very
right.
much.
Bye.
See you
Bye.
next time. Bye.